So, AI is literally everywhere, right? We keep hearing it's the new electricity that is going to change everything. But does it feel like that to you? If it's such a revolution, where is it? In this explainer, we're going to cut through all that noise. We'll look at why AI so often falls flat, and more importantly, give you a clear playbook on how to actually make it work.
Okay, let me know if this sounds familiar. You're drowning in data. Spreadsheets, dashboards, reports. It's everywhere. But when it comes time to make a big decision, you're still just guessing? It's like you're data-rich but insight poor. You're swimming in information but totally starving for wisdom. Let's make this real with an actual story.
So, meet David. He's a craft brewer, and every single Monday was a nightmare. He'd spend like 3 or 4 hours just pulling sales data from 3 different systems. Then came the really fun part, painstakingly copying and pasting everything into one massive spreadsheet. All that work just to try and see what was selling. He was the poster child for being data-rich but insight-poor.
So, David got fed up, right? He decided to try out one of these new AI Analyst tools. And check out the difference. Now his entire Monday routine takes about 30 minutes. All he had to do was connect his data sources one time. And now, he just asks questions in plain English. Stuff like, hey, show me my top-selling beers by channel. And boom, the AI just spits out a perfect, insightful dashboard, instantly. And the results? This is where you see what AI is supposed to do. First off, he saved over 10 hours of grunt work every month. But here's the kicker. The tool found something he'd completely missed, a huge sales spike for one of his seasonal beers in a tiny little neighborhood in South London he'd never even thought about targeting. So what'd he do? He moved his ad budget over there, and his online sales shot up 15% the very next month. Now that is turning raw data into actual growth.
Now, David's story is awesome. It's the dream. But let's be honest, it's not the reality for most businesses, is it? And what's so wild is that we have been here before. Back in 1987, the Nobel-winning economist Robert Solow said this amazing thing. He said, you can see the computer age everywhere but in the productivity statistics. Basically, everyone was buying PCs, but the economy wasn't getting any more productive. They called it the productivity paradox.
And guess what? History is totally repeating itself. Right now, we are smack in the middle of the AI productivity paradox 2.0. Companies are pouring billions, literally billions of dollars into AI, but those tangible bottom-line results, they're just as hard to find as they were back in the 80s.
And the numbers, wow, the numbers are just staggering. One analysis found that a shocking 95% of organizations say they've seen zero measurable impact on their profits from all their AI investments. Let that sink in. 95%. The promise is everywhere, but the results just aren't there. So the billion-dollar question is, why?
Okay, so here's the thing. The problem isn't the AI itself. The tech is amazing. The problem is how we're putting it to work. There's this huge gap between what the tools can do and what companies are actually doing with them. And this gap, it's caused by 3 really critical bottlenecks. So let's break them down. These are the big 3. First, you've got the workflow bottleneck, which is where AI actually creates new traffic jams in your process. Second is the skills bottleneck, where your teams are either unprepared or, honestly, a little scared. And third, the infrastructure bottleneck. This is where bad data basically poisons the well before your project even gets off the ground.
All right, let's dig into that first one, the workflow. Take software developers, for example. AI code assistants help them get their tasks done 21% faster. Sounds like a huge win, right? Well, not so fast. All that AI-generated code created a massive logjam for the human reviewers. Their review time shot up by 91%. The gain they made up front was completely wiped out downstream. The total project time didn't change one bit.
Next up, the skills bottleneck. This one's fascinating. Get this, 1 in every 3 employees is actively hiding the fact that they're using AI from their boss. Why? Well, a lot of them are afraid they'll be seen as replaceable. So you end up with this shadow workforce using these powerful tools in secret. And because it's secret, the wins are never tracked, they're never shared, and they're never scaled up. It's like innovation happening in the dark.
And finally, infrastructure. You've heard the saying, garbage in, garbage out, right? Well, with AI, that's magnified by 1,000. Messy, disorganized data will always lead to flawed, useless results. The real problem here is that most companies totally underestimate how much work this is, and data prep ends up eating, wait for it, 60 to 80% of the entire project's timeline, just cleaning up the data.
Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. It might sound a bit grim, but don't worry. Now we get to the good part, the solution. The key here is that overcoming these bottlenecks isn't about buying more software. It's about having a structured plan. So here it is, your 90-day playbook to find real, tangible value with AI.
We call it the AAA framework. It's super straightforward. For the first 30 days, you just audit. You meticulously map out your current workflows to find all those repetitive, time-sucking tasks. In the next 30 days, you augment. This is where you bring in AI as a co-pilot to boost your team's skills and score some quick, easy wins. And in the final 30, you automate. You start delegating entire multi-step rule-based processes directly to AI.
And that first phase, the audit, it's super practical. You don't need fancy software, just use a simple worksheet like this one. For 1 week, you track your time and you're looking for tasks that are both repetitive and time-consuming. For instance, you spend 4 hours every week on sales reporting? Yep, that's high potential for AI. But that one-on-one mentoring session? Nope, low potential. This simple exercise turns that vague feeling of "I'm so busy" into a clear, prioritized hit list for AI. So that framework is fantastic for a team or a whole company. But what about you, just you, in your career? As AI starts handling more of the technical, repetitive stuff, how do you make sure you don't just stay relevant, but you actually become more valuable than ever before? Well, the answer comes from a pretty cool concept inspired by the chess grandmaster Garry Kasparov. It's called the Centaur. You see, after Kasparov famously lost to IBM's Deep Blue supercomputer, he did something absolutely brilliant. He didn't quit. Instead, he invented a new kind of chess where humans partnered with computers. He called them centaurs. And these human plus AI teams consistently beat the most powerful supercomputers playing all by themselves. The lesson here is crystal clear. Stop trying to compete against AI. The winning move is to collaborate with it.
So what does it mean to become a centaur in your career? It means you double down on the skills that are uniquely human. Look, AI can crunch data like nobody's business, but it can't provide strategic judgment. It can write an email, sure, but it can't show genuine empathy or persuade someone in a high-stakes negotiation. These are the skills that suddenly become your superpower: strategic judgment, creative problem-solving, empathy, and of course, ethical oversight.
So what does a day in the life of a centaur actually look like in, say, 2030? Well, picture this. Maybe you spend a quarter of your day just directing AI agents, telling them what analysis to run. Then you spend half your day, the biggest chunk, on high-value human stuff, like coaching your team, negotiating deals, and building relationships. And that last quarter? That's for deep, uninterrupted strategic thinking. The AI handles all the noise, freeing you up to focus on the work that truly creates value.
Okay, let's wrap this up. What are the big things you need to remember? We've basically given you a navigator's toolkit here. First, there's the AAA framework. That's your 90-day plan to audit, augment, and automate to find real value in your organization. Second, we talked about the Centaur Career model. That's your personal blueprint for staying not just relevant, but essential. And finally, remember the core mindset shift that ties it all together. The goal is collaboration, not competition.
Look, I get it. This kind of massive technological shift can feel, well, pretty disruptive. It can be a little scary. But the right way to think about this isn't as a moment of replacement. It's a moment of elevation. This is all about automating the boring, repetitive stuff so we can free ourselves up for the work that's truly meaningful. It's a chance to completely redefine our jobs for the better.
You know, they say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. It's the same thing here. The best time to figure all this out was last year. The second best time is right now. The frameworks are here, the economic map is literally being redrawn in real time. So the only question left is, are you ready to grab the helm?